Seaside Romance by Molly for Widner. My project concept began with my great love of the ocean and the coastline. The ocean has always brought me so much joy as well as inspiration. For my final collection, I hope to create pieces that fully embrace and reflect the beauty of the coastline and all it has to offer. I hoped that the end user will feel physically, spiritually, and emotionally connected to Mother Earth and the ocean when wearing my pieces. My final pieces will capture the raw elegance of the ocean while giving the wearer a sense of peace, serenity, and empowerment. Aligning with one of Widner's key values of sustainability, I have focused in on preserving and protecting Mother Earth by using as many ethical and sustainable practices as I could throughout the project, such as natural dyeing of material, using materials that I already had around the home, gathering regenerative materials from the environment. I also aimed to create a garment that was timeless and could be worn and enjoyed for many years to come. I decided to create a full outfit including a dress, jewelry, hair accessories, shoes, and a wrap, as I wanted to create a full image and a full body experience head to toe. I have further refined my mood board by developing a clear colour palette, focusing in on the natural tones found around the coastline. I've included textures and techniques that I would like to use in my final pieces. Here I've drawn the front and the back of the dress that I've previously designed. However, I've changed my design slightly, adding in a cow neckline and a draped back, which I believe matches the romance and elegance look I am going for. To create the desired shape for the dress, I formed my toiles and shape on the mannequin and on my body. I didn't have access to a lot of pattern making paper, so I had to craft it on the mannequin. Crafting this dress on the body allowed me to really focus on creating a shape that would complement and show off a woman's body in a classy way. I then took the measurements off my calico toiles and tack up pieces for the final dress. I've provided information about the dress. So the dress is a Seaside Romance dress, a part of the Spring-Summer 2021. It is a mid-length relaxed fit dress that has been cut on the bias to create a beautiful draped cow neckline. The bias cut creates a nice drape throughout the skirt. The dress is adjustable through the crossover straps at the back. I've used an ivory deluxe satin fabric for the dress, for the facing and the outer layer, which is marketed at $20 per metre from Spotlight. I used birch thread in cream, which is $5.50 for a 3-pack of 500. Here I've provided another sketch of the front, back and the side of the dress, showing the drape through the neckline, back and the skirt, as well as how the straps cross over at the back. I've provided an order of construction for the dress, firstly cutting one of the front facing, back facing, and then cutting 2 of the straps. I then attached the right sides of the front and the back together with a 6mm seam allowance. Then sewed the front facing and the back facing together with a 6mm seam allowance. I folded the straps in half and sewed along the edge, turning the straps the right way out and then hand stitching the ends shut. I attached the facing and the outer layer of the dress and inserted the straps all in one stitch. I then sewed the outer layer and the facing of the dress together using a 6mm seam allowance. I folded the dress the right way and pressed it flat. Ideally, I would like to baby lock or overlock the raw edges of the facing. However, I didn't have access to an overlocker and my sewing machine is unable to do French seams properly, so I had to come up with a creative way of stopping my fabric from fraying just for the project, so I melted the raw edges to stop them fraying. I then hand stitched strap loops to the side of the dress so that I was able to tie up the straps at the back, and the dress was able to be adjustable then. I've provided some construction details on the dress thread chain loops here. the facing attached to the outer layer of the dress, and you can also see the way in which the back straps tie up. Here is an image of the strap inserted into the dress in the one seam line. I've also drawn diagrams of how I've inserted the straps and how I have created the chain loops for the straps to be tied up through. I was extremely happy with the end result of my dress. I believe it fit the theme of the romance and elegance really well and complemented the feminine body. Here I've provided images of the step-by-step to create my resin shoes. I first wove the straps by using scrap pieces of wool, fabric, beads, wooden beads. I created a mold for my resin shoes out of air dry clay. I crafted this mold around my Birkenstocks to get the right shape. I used 2 layers of resin. The first layer I let set to when it was tacky, and then I applied the shells. I then poured another layer of resin over the top of the shells. The resin took weeks to set, I think about 3 weeks in total. I then removed the clay outer layer by using a screwdriver and a hammer, and I then glued the strap and used macrame cord for the sole of the shoe. Here I've created another pair of shoes out of the air dry clay, and I've just pressed in little shells throughout the clay. I used a Mod Podge sealant over the top to give a shiny appearance. For the straps, I just used a macrame knot to tie across the shoe. I decided to accessorize my outfit to give it a complete look, so I created earrings out of shells I collected. I used the Dremel drill to drill through little holes in the shell, or I used existing holes in the shells to attach the earring. I created this beautiful long necklace that would drape down the back of the feminine body, accentuating her shape and also breaking up the back of the dress. I attached different little shells down the chain, and I used the Dremel drill again to get the holes through the shells. I created hair clips out of using crochet, pearl beads, shells, and painted shells. I decided to do some natural dyeing, so I explored dyeing with avocado. I boiled the skins and the pip of the avocado to turn the water pink. I then inserted my 100% cotton wrap that would absorb up the pink tones. Here I've created a mood board of what I would like my final shoot scene to look like. So I want it to be a nice, bright, sunny day. I wanted to have like the romance date picnic on the beach sort of vibe. I've provided some photo inspiration. Some of these images are images that I have taken myself, but I've also used some of Claire's beautiful transformation photography. She's a local photographer that focuses on sort of showcasing the women, feminine body and her relationship to Mother Earth and nature. So I've set up my beautiful beach date scene here, and I have placed down my shoes and created this really nice, relaxed, romantic vibe. These are some beautiful images showing the back of my dress and how the light reflects and bounces off the satin fabric, as well as the drape through the lower part of the dress. You can see the beautiful earrings in this image. I really loved playing around with how the satin fabric then looked when it was wet and how it clung and showcased the feminine curves. I had a lot of fun using the wrap in the wind and how the shadows and light showed the colour of the avocado dying off like differently. I captured my shoes on the sand as if they were walking along the beach. I also incorporated a photo here of my macrame foot wraps as I thought it would be really cool to accessorize the pair of shoes with these foot wraps as well. Thank you so much for watching my presentation, and I really hope you have enjoyed it. I would also like to take the time to thank Whitner for all their time and feedback throughout this project. It was such an amazing opportunity to be part of.